Hey newbies, how you doing? I'm talking about you lot that's come from Scotsman in Tenerife. Welcome. Yep, we are in Tenerife, but that's about as far as it goes, the comparison. The rest of it really is just about me, just Rick. So welcome. Subscribers, do us a favour. Say hi to the newbies for me, will you?
Hey newbies.
Thank you very much. 3 days to go. And no, 2 days to go. It's Friday today, Saturday, Sunday. 2 days to go. For those that don't know and are new to the channel, I am in the process of putting a stand-up comedy set together. I'm holding my phone a bit weird because I've broke my stand. There's always something with this YouTube, and if the phone flicks out then it's knackered. So I've got to be really careful. See how it's hanging by a thread. I think what I might do is go and buy a new one and then carry this on, because I don't trust this. I think it's going to flick out. I'll see you in a minute. That's better. We'll try that now, shall we? I don't feel I'm going to break my phone now. Anyway, where was I? Yeah, if you're new to the channel, I'm actually... If you're new to the channel, I'm actually a compere on the island who is going to take the step over to do stand-up comedy, which my first gig is going to be on Sunday, and I've been using the compere route to actually get myself into the stand-up comedy for the last year and a half, to work on routines that eventually you can put together and make a career and a living from. And I decided to take the plunge this weekend. Wish me luck. For those that already know, you've seen the road that it's been and the journey I've taken with it. And it's quite, it's been quite an interesting one. Well, in the last 8 days, I have listened to my own plans, listened to my own remedies, and decided just to get out there and start walking. And as up to now, since last Monday, I've done 70 kilometres. Get up, get out, get moving. The reason why I've done the 70 kilometres is on the same path every single day as well. 5 in the morning, 5 in the evening. Sometimes, is because I think that's the only way when I'm walking I can think properly on how I'm going to get this routine put together. And it's getting there. I'm not bricking it, but it's getting there. You know, you can smell the sea. It smells gorgeous here. It's the show's going to be, I've got an hour to fill, and trust me, in the last 2 weeks it feels most probably the longest hour of my life at the moment, and I'm sure it's just going to go in the blink of an eye as well, which is going to be ridiculous. But it's you know, I remember the first day as a compere, and I had to stand there for an hour before the act came on, and the hour was the longest hour I've ever done in my life, whereas now it's an absolute breeze. And if the act's finished on 55 minutes, I'm like, you're early, because I knew I've still got another 5 minutes to fill later on. And I was nervous about how on earth I'm going to fill that 5 minutes, whereas now it's just like, yeah, it's fine, don't worry about it, I can do it. So I've got to get to that stage, but I'm nowhere near there yet. I'm still at the stage where I'm thinking to myself, how on earth am I going to fill this hour? Which is quite a challenge. It's quite good, but quite a challenge for myself, to be honest with you. So the 3 sections that I've set up, the final 2 sections I'm not really too worried about. I don't want to give too much away, I don't want to tell you about it at the moment. More, I don't know if it's out of, I don't know how to say it. I think a couple of you guys on the channel have said to me, why don't you just do us a favour, Rick, why don't you film yourself, put it on there, and we'll tell you what it's like. I think because when you're like me and you're standing up there talking to an empty audience, I think that's going to be harder than actually when I talk to an audience. So I'm going to save it for an audience first of all, and then after that, if it works well, I might stick something online. The issue I've got is the first 20 minutes, because the first 20 minutes I've got no props. The first 20 minutes is me, and this is where it comes into what's in a name. It's just me on my own, just Rick. Hence the reason with the name, Just Rick. I was working in Dillon's about 3-4 weeks ago, and it's a bit noisy, a bit loud. There's an act on, and I'm outside, and I met a couple of people, and this person said to me, "Hi mate, what's your name?" I went, "Hi, I'm Rick." And the guy called me Amric for the whole of the evening, and I'm like, I tried to tell him no, it's Rick, but he couldn't get it. So in the end, I was Amric for the rest of the evening. But as you know, the channel here, and myself, I'm called Just Rick. That's me, Just Rick. And the reason why I thought I'd use that name, and this is the reason why I chose this name right at the beginning of the YouTube channel, was because when I was growing up, and comedy's played a big part of my life all the way through, the first part of comedy was based on the golf. When I was doing the golf, and I was doing the golf clinics and introducing golf to all the Dutch people, that's when I first started using comedy. But I could hide behind the talent of the golf that I had, I suppose. So it wasn't just me, it was me and the golf, so I could hide behind that. I think I'm going to sneeze, 2 seconds. Sorry about that. It was Rick and golf. Second part of the career was I got into the car sales, and I was selling a lot of cars, but I was using a lot of comedy to sell the cars as well, to make myself a likeable person. So it was Rick and the cars. Whereas this time, for the first time ever, I'm feeling confident enough, I think, to go out there on my own. Hence the reason, Just Rick. Oop, just fell. How do I get this first 20 minutes sorted? And the only way I can do it really is, when you look at the great comedians, for me, I look at Billy Connolly, I look at Eddie Izzard. What they're doing, what they do, is they create pathways. They create a pathway, and that pathway will go from A to Z. What they might do is they might diverge off the, well no, they always divert off the path, but then they always come back onto it, and it's very clever. That's what comedy is. At the end of it, you always come back to where you are on the path, so you actually complete the story and make the story completely all the way around. Well, that's what I'm trying to do, and I've been working on the pathway for the last 70 kilometres to make sure that my pathway in my head is as clear as possible as it possibly can be. It's a bit like, do you remember the olden days Paul Daniels show? Everyone's amazed about a bloke who could memorise shuffled deck, 4 decks together shuffled, and then he could memorise them. Card after card after card, four cards, 4 decks, 4 packs of cards. He could memorise it, and it's the way he could do it was really down because of the story. Because what he did was he made a story along the way, like saying 2 cards were in a car. They went from the car into a house, from the house into the bathroom. It's like 2 queens were in a car, the Queen of Hearts and the Queen of Spades, and they walk into a house and they meet 2 other cards, who are the 6 of Hearts and the Ace of Diamonds. After that, they needed the toilet, so they decided to go to the bathroom, where they bump into 2 more, and that is the 5 of Clubs and the King of Spades. Let me see if I've got that right. I've got to pick them all up now. What, for Sunday? Oh, it's a little bit like, that's why I've purposely...
I do task out with Chris Rogers that are on, didn't you?
Yeah, that's why I've purposely chose away, just to give myself a bit of practice and a bit of chance to see before I bring it back in. We're getting there, yeah, it's doing all right.
I know you'll do well.
It's doing all right.
You're confident enough, and you can see it yourself.
We're watching you like at Dylan's and the way you talk to everyone, and it's a really nice change.
Thank you so much. It's words like that that will actually give me the confidence to be able to do it, so...
Well, that's it, we watched last year, we thought that absolute, well, came over last year when we saw you in Dylan's End, and we know you've got the confidence to do things like that. It's just in your nature.
Very kind of you. Thank you so much for the kind words. Well, I'm going to stick you on this vlog. Is that all right? You're going to want to go on this vlog. So, what was your names again?
Chris and Lisa.
Lisa
Chris.
and Chris. There you go, guys. Going home tomorrow. Thank you so much for the kind word, guys. Enjoy your rest of your day. Enjoy your last
You as
day.
well.
See you later. See you later. Yeah, I just got collared. It's nice. Kind of words like that help you with the confidence to keep you going. Yeah, I got it right. I think I got it right. And it's weird. It's you've got to get the pathway right, and if you get the pathway right, it makes it a lot easier. I know it's going to be a lot easier to do that. However, I'm also aware that when I do this pathway, I've got to be aware that I'm going to miss some of the pathway as well. And when you miss some of it, it's going to be that's the point when you then don't panic, and you've got to try and find the key words to get you back onto the pathway that you're after. So that's the point that I'm at the moment. But I just think I need to do it to find out what parts of the pathway I'm going to miss, and what parts of the pathway I'm going to hit, and I'm going to know they're going to be right. So wish me luck. Wish me luck. It's do you know what it is? I remember, as I said to you before, when I went to Holland, I jumped in my Ford Fiesta, and I said bye to my dad and my stepmom, and I drove from there to I think I drove to Newcastle, and I went over from Newcastle on the ferry on my own, and I knew it was then just Rick, and it was a feeling of nervousness but also empowerment. I felt really, really empowered about it, which was really nice. I remember when I came back and I had an interview for a job for selling cars at 12 o'clock, and I got the job, and I sold my car by 4:30, my first car by 4:30 in that afternoon, and it was just Rick that did that, nobody else. And I bundled my way through it, just like I bundled my way through getting over to Holland, but I did it. I remember going on stage at Dillon's for the first time, and standing up there, not having a clue what to do, nervous as hell. But again, it was just Rick, and I stood up there and I did it. And it was funny actually, because 3 nights ago we actually had one of the worst nights ever where the place was empty. And I said to the staff in there, I said, can you imagine if this was my first night? Because if this was my first night, I most probably wouldn't be a compere now, because I think the nerves would have got me, and I think I'd have bombed and I'd have pulled out of it. So I also remember, or I think I'm going to remember, that when I get to Sundowners on Gulf del Sur Sunday at 7 PM, I'm going to stand on that stage with a microphone in my hand, and it's going to be just Rick. And I think those are the moments that I actually live for, where it gives me the dopamine enough for me to go, yeah, that's what I want to do. Is there a car coming? Yeah, that I want to do, that dopamine hit. And I think that's what I'm going to enjoy the most, I think. So when somebody says, are you nervous? I always remember I struggled in golf in tournaments because of my nerves, because nobody ever told me that what you've got to do is you've got to embrace your nerves, and you've got to use that to your advantage rather than to your disadvantage. And it took me a long, long time late in life to work that out and find that out. So I'm going to use these nerves now for my advantage, and I'm just going to go for it. And we'll see how it goes. So just Rick, it's quite an apt name really, isn't it? Once again guys, if you are new to the channel, thank you so much. The growth of the channel's been fantastic. I'm over the moon with it. I'll keep you posted about Sunday. I'll let you know how I get on. Somebody the other day said to me, are you alright Rick, you're looking a bit tired? To be honest with you, I've got a lot going on. I've a lot of walking, a lot of thinking, and there's a lot going on. But I think it's going to be worth it. I think it'll definitely be worth it. Right, I'm signing off. Have a great weekend. Next time I speak to you, most probably it'll have been done, and I'll let you know how I get on, alright? As they say, break a leg. I hope not, but let's go, alright? See you next time. See you guys. All the best.